Right, everyone, WeaponCollector here. Thought I'd do a video on modding slip joints that are not quite long enough for UK legal carry, because I've got a couple of decent slip joint knives, but they're slightly too long to be legal. So I decided to basically mod them and grind down the blades to the right length. So this is the particular one I've done recently, and I'll sort of talk about the pros and cons and why I like this one over some other ones and sort of why I did it. So this is the San Renmu 9052 slip joint knife. There's a couple of other bits to the name. It's got a long thing. I'll just add an annotation for that. And very nice, decent sized knife, but the blade was about a quarter of an inch too long. So what I've done is I've ground the blade down to a sort of sheep's foot type shape, and that is now exactly 3 inches. So I've took that now, and that is now legal carry, or technical legal carry, what we'd say over here, because although this is legal to carry, you could still get done for it, you know. But that is now within the laws of the, you know, size laws. So, you know, you could say, why bother? Why not just get something else? Well, what I like about this knife is the size of the handle. If you see the size of that handle in my hand, it's a very good, decent size. Now, I've got a similar San Renmu here, which is also a very good slip joint knife, which would be legal carry, but it's just slightly too small. Like I said, I like it, but it's just not quite big enough. So there it is. Then if you look at the size of the handle, my little finger only just goes on it. So here's the one I modded, and you can see that the one I've done, the handle is nearly an inch longer. The blade is probably about half an inch longer as well. Both slip joints, that is a legal carry one as well. And this one has pretty much the same features this one has, because this isn't just a single blade, it's also got a sharpened hook, or gut hook, whatever you want to call it, belt cutter, and on the other side, flathead screwdriver and a bottle opener. The only thing this is missing really is on the other one, it has a Phillips screwdriver here. You've also got the glass breaker. Yeah, now I'll compare it to like a Swiss Army penknife, again, which I really like and think is really good, but small handle, and actually the handle's not too bad on these, it's just about right, but very small blade. I prefer something with just a bigger blade. You can just do more with that, you know. Not saying anything bad about Swiss Army knife, I absolutely love them. If you want a knife that looks totally inconspicuous, you know, non-threatening, Swiss Army penknife, you know. But I prefer sometimes to have something with a bigger blade, just more usable. The other thing with this, it is one-handed opening, thumb studs on both sides. So yeah, so if you've got any slip joints that are slightly too big, I recommend grinding the blade down. I would have shown you a picture earlier of how this blade was originally, and it was about a quarter of an inch too long, which just made it useless really, you know, useless for carrying anyway. But now I've ground that down, I just put it on a belt grinder and ground a bit off, put it in water, ground a bit off, put it in water, so you don't overheat the blade, and then just go over it with a bit of wet dry sandpaper. You can see where I've accidentally scratched the blade there, but that doesn't really matter, you know, it's not a big deal. You don't have to do it this shape, you can do it any shape you wanted to, but it's just a good way to turn a knife that you couldn't carry into one you can, and you know, a decent size now, you know, perfect size blade, but it's also got a nice big handle. That is why I wanted it, really. You know, like I said, most legal carry knives are gonna be a certain size because the handle is normally around about the size of the blade. You know. So yeah, that's just, you know, I just thought I'd talk about modding slip joints that are too big to give you some ideas of stuff you can do. So yeah. So if you ever have got slip joints or any knife that doesn't lock and blade's just slightly too big, just grind it down like that. Alright, hope you found this video helpful and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you ever want to support this channel, you can. I've got a Patreon now, and on there it shows the Patreon supporters. So if you wanted to do that, you can do Patreon. And if you ever bought through GearBest or Amazon, if you use the links I provide on every single one of my videos, when you buy stuff, you sort of donate 10 to 15% of what you spend. 5 to 10% of what you spend comes back to me, if you know what I mean, at no cost to you. So that way you can support the channel by just buying stuff, you know, buy stuff you want anyway. Or you can do the Patreon. Right, hope you enjoyed the video, like I said. See you later.